Okay, welcome to New Tech Programming. This is part 4 of the game development playlist. We all know that there are tools and ingredients in every aspect of human creation. For example, if you want to make a wooden craft, you would need a saw and a hammer. If you want to make a painting, you need a paintbrush, a pencil, an artboard, and some colors. Right. Similarly, to create a game, you will need some tools. But what tools? The tools are mainly the software that we use to make a game. The elements to make games are assets, such as 2D sprites, 3D models, and sound effects. This video is about the software for making game assets. Here I also mention some AI tools. That's why watch till the end. Suppose you want to start a new AAA studio. So, what kind of employees do you need? 1 game artist creates the graphical content in a specific art style for the game. 2 audio designer adds sound effects to enhance the gaming experience. 3 game programmer utilizes programming skills to develop and integrate all game assets. 4 game designer responsible for designing the game levels, overall gameplay mechanics, and user interface and user experience UI/UX. As a studio owner, you have to arrange software for all of them. Tools for game artists. It depends on your game's art style. The games can be made in both 2D and 3D dimensions. But in these dimensions, you have to choose an art style. The most famous tools in 2D vector art are Adobe Illustrator, Affinity Designer, Lunacy, and Inkscape. I recommend that you use Illustrator because it is industry standard software. I know, it is paid, and if some of you have a lower level PC, you can't use the latest version of Adobe Illustrator, just like me. Don't worry, install the crack version and install the previous versions, which are compatible with your device. In 2D pixel art, the best softwares are Sprite, Adobe Photoshop, ProMotion NG, and GIMP. The GIMP is the only fully free software on this list. But my recommendation is either to use Sprite or Photoshop. They are the industrial standard for today's game industry. In 3D art, which is the most popular art style for games, you do not find so many options for that. The top of them are Blender, Maya, Unreal, and Unity. Here, some of you question me that I put game engines in the list. My answer is that they both have some best features for 3D art. You don't know about all the features of Unreal and Unity. In recommendation, if you have a lower level PC and Unreal as the game engine, you don't need Blender. But if you choose any other engine, use Blender for 3D assets. But if you have a high-level PC, use both of them. If you need tools for editing video, use one of them. Adobe Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, CapCut, and Wondershare Filmora. Tools for audio designers. Fmod, Wise, Audacity, and Adobe Audition. My recommendation is to use both Fmod and Wise. Here are many software for that, and some other software can be better in the following years. So, stay updated about them. I just gave you my present overview. For game programmers, use VS Code and Visual Studio 2022. They are totally free. Or use an IDE from the JetBrains company. They are paid but offer a free trial. This recommendation applies not only to game development, but to the entire programming sector as well. For game designers, these are software tools for UI/UX design, Figma, Adobe XD, and Sketch. I recommend using Figma if you work with game engines like Unity, Unreal, or Godot, as most of the design work can be done within the game engine. Adobe XD is also in the Adobe CC plan, so it is paid, and Sketch works in macOS. Figma is a free cross-platform design tool that can also be used online. This is my final recommendation for both beginners and professionals. Beginner's software is totally free, but professional software costs $257 monthly. If you want to use all Adobe products for game development, subscribe to the Adobe Creative Cloud All Apps plan for just $59.99 per month. Let's talk about some AI tools. For graphical assets, use Ideogram. 3D asset uses Meshi AI. For code generation, use Cursor AI. Listen carefully. If you're just starting in game development, don't worry about creating game assets. Instead, look for free game assets made by others and focus on coding. You need to learn more and more about gameplay mechanics. Replicate others' ideas for learning, but for income-generating games, focus on your own creativity and uniqueness. That is for today's video. Please subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate your support, as my channel is currently growing. Thanks for watching.